They never take away taxes. They never lower the taxes. Have you ever noticed this? Like, you hear them all the time talking about add this tax, add that tax. They never take any away or lower them. Right? And I have a little list here that I've written on my computer. You have income tax, government sales tax, provincial sales tax, the Canadian Pension Ponzi, aka CPP, employment insurance, land transfer tax, property tax, payroll tax, tariffs, capital gains tax, carbon taxes, and luxury tax, anything over $100,000. And guess what? If you don't pay any of these, the government will wreck you. They will destroy you. I want to preface this by saying, I am a good tax-paying slave. I pay my taxes every single year. Matter of fact, I have filed early every single year for the past couple of years. Not saying avoid taxes. Absolutely not saying that. What I'm saying is they charge you a lot of taxes, and if you don't pay it, they will wreck you. And the taxation really is the only way that they're able to keep things satiable, again, for like the elections and whatnot, because they are printing so much money. They're expanding the currency so much that inflation would be like 500% if they just continue to inflate the currency. I mean, even Trump himself is printing about, I think I saw 9 to 10 billion the other day in new cash every single month, which is insane. But the only thing that they can do to keep the inflation somewhat under control is by taxing you. So they throw the money into the system, they tax you, and they pull it back out. This is the only thing keeping the inflation somewhat palatable. Because if not, you actually might go down to Ottawa and go do something about it, like the trucker convoy, the Canadian heroes, the biggest Canadian heroes since World War II. They actually had enough. I'm still amazed at the fact that the testosterone levels were high enough to actually make that happen. But if they were not taxing you into poverty, inflation would be so high, that would happen. And again, I'm not encouraging that. I'm just saying, for all the liberals, my liberal friends in Ottawa, Mark Carney and the boys, if you hear me talking and you say, you know what, we got to get this guy off the internet, you don't need to Charlie Kirk my ass. We don't need to be extreme. I can be bought and sold. You can buy me out. I will champion you. Listen, when I get bought out by you guys, nobody will champion Mark Carney harder than me, even harder than Doug Ford during the last election. I promise you that. So again, the taxation is what makes the inflation rate satiable to get your way to the next election so that you can be tax cattle for the next 2 to 4 years, pay your taxes. If we get this guy, we might be able to save ourselves. It's not real. It's all fake. It's all political theater. And your taxes fund the retarded spending. All the dumb shit they spend. Like, I mean, the fact that just under 30% of the country works for the government, that's funded by your taxes. Tampons in men's bathrooms. Condoms going over to guerrillas over in the Congo. This is real things that they actually spend money on. And, of course, the Ukraine. Your taxes fund all of it. Every last bit of it. I don't want to get into the rabbit hole of the Ukraine stuff, but just know that your taxes are funding that. It's crazy. Now, the taxes go up. Why does my dollar value go down? Why does it feel like I'm getting poor? Perfect. Great question, my favorite slave. I'm going to explain to you right now why the taxes are going up and you're getting poor at the same time, which is the worst combination. So, Canada got off a gold-backed currency in 1931. This whole concept of money, like money, paper money, this is all brand new. This is only in the last, 120, 150 years-ish that we've been doing this experiment. And money typically was always backed by gold, right? Back in the day, I have gold, I give it to the bank, I get a receipt or a note, I can exchange it at any point in time to get my gold back. It is a store of value, right? Because back in the day, you had to trade goats for sheep. Let's say, I don't know, maybe I'm a farmer. I can't really trade carrots in the winter because I don't have any carrots. So I have some form of store of value. I'll trade you that for your cattle, for whatever. This is kind of how this all came to be. So since 1931, the Canadian dollar has been completely delinked from gold. It's literally about as worthless as the paper that it is printed on. The U.S. did the same thing in 1971. Therefore, their currency is no longer backed by the gold. It's only backed by the paper that is printed on. And the more that you print, the more you water down the value, which is why your purchasing power has gone down. In Canada, 99% of your purchasing power has been evaporated and printed away since the 1970s, since the Trudeau empire took over. Actually, I think he was very late 60s, so no excuses. He was in full power mode there. But this is why the inflation rate is so high. And I hear what you're saying. Oh my God, Travis, I got a raise this year. I got an 8% raise. No, inflation is 11%. If you got an 8% raise, you went backwards 3%. But inflation is only 2%. The government and the CBC told me. Yes, and I'm a virgin. The inflation is not 2%. It is 11%. Use your eyes. Open them. Eyes wide open. Go to the store. Look at some prices. Look around you. Right? That house that went up from $100,000 to $200,000 did not double in value. Nothing new happened. It's the same house. The value of the money that you're paying for it has gone down. If you measure home prices in Canada in actual gold or Bitcoin, the prices have actually come down. Literally. I mean, I get Bitcoin's only been around since 2008, but Bitcoin, in relation to home prices in Canada, you've needed less and less Bitcoin as time has gone on. Same thing with gold, but you need more money. Do I have your attention yet?